Okay, this is me, Joe Franklin, saying a big good morning. The big news is that we've got a great show for you today. Joan Roberts, who introduced all those big songs in Oklahoma on the stage 50 years ago, is here again to sing those songs in person. Richard Pyatt with his magic meals. Joan Roberts, Richard Pyatt. And as promised, one more selection right now by the incomparable, by the wizard of the strings. And I've asked my good friend Chip if he might set the scene for Jose Feliciano, the one, the only, the greatest, the man who won all those 40 gold, platinum records and how many Grammy Awards? Just, if Chip is here, it's authentic. Set the scene, Chip.
What more do you need to say? Just one of the greatest acoustic guitar players in the world, Jose Feliciano with Tenderly.
Bravo. Thank you, Chip. Mr. Feliciano. Gentlemen, when you go from Jose Feliciano to Joan Roberts, this is, how do we follow this show, right, Chip?
It's great, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the most revolutionary musical in the whole history of the Broadway theater. We're going to give you Joan Roberts. Joan Roberts is going to bring us a classic bit of Broadway history, doing some of the songs that she sang when she was Laurie in Oklahoma 50 years ago, opposite Alfred Drake, who played Curly. I mean, this. What's after this, Chip? What's beyond this?
It's history here.
Right.
Yeah. And that cast album was a big landmark bestseller too, sure.
That's right. Joan Roberts and Alfred Drake, who's no longer with us. I want to ask my good friend Stephen Kaplan, the producer and musical director of the Salute to Rodgers and Hammerstein, to tell us where and when and to set the scene for Joan Roberts.
Okay. Well, Joan has most graciously agreed to appear on our program. We have 4 wonderful Long Island regional veterans of regional theater. And they and myself are producing a Salute to Rodgers and Hammerstein to commemorate the 50th anniversary year of Oklahoma on Broadway. It's at Bald Hill Cultural Park, which is the Brookhaven Amphitheater off of Exit 63 on the Long Island Expressway on Friday, July 23rd at 8 p.m., the rain date being the next night. And
one of the stars of that event recreating some of the songs on our panel right now, Joan Roberts, some of the songs that she sang for millions of people through the years on what theater stage originally, Joan? What theater? The St. James Theater in 1943, and in 1993 on our panel, that great lady of theater, a very rare appearance by Joan Roberts and songs she made famous. Miss Roberts.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. You're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, okay. Chicks and ducks and geese better scurry when I take you out in the Surrey. When I take you out in the Surrey with the fringe on top. Watch that fringe and see how it flutters when I drive them high-stepping strutters. Nosy pokes will peek through their shutters and their eyes will pop. The wheels are yellow, the upholstery's brown, the dashboard's genuine leather. With eyes and glass curtains you can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather. Two bright side lights winking and blinking, ain't no finer rig on the thinking. You can keep your rig if you're thinking that I'd care to swap for that shiny little Surrey with the fringe on the top. Don't throw bouquets at me. Don't please my folks too much. Don't laugh at my jokes too much. People will say we're in love. Don't start collecting things. Give me my rose and my glove. Sweetheart, they're suspecting things. People will say we're in love. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, yo-I-yip-I-yo-ee, we're only saying, you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, O-K-L-A-H-O-M-E, Oklahoma, you!
just heard Joan Roberts and Richard Pyatt analyzing nutrition. And how could I not ask Richard Pyatt, who's one of our most renowned radio and TV broadcasters and authors, what about this new third wave thing I'm hearing about, whereby people are now ignoring this big procession of warnings? They used to, people who pay no attention to the fact that they tell you that everything in the world causes cancer, radon, red meat, power lines, pesticides. People, every hour, every day, a new warning, and there's a whole new thing now where people just ignoring everything.
Well, Joe, that's because scientists are confused. Yesterday, they'll tell you that coffee will give you pancreatic cancer.
Right.
The next week, if coffee is fine, it'll give you a nice boost.
Yeah.
Last week, 2 drinks would give you cancer of the liver. Next week, 2 drinks will make your heart tick faster and longer. So I think people are throwing their hands up and saying, look, I don't believe any of it. I'll do what feels good, and that's it. And
I'll eat junk food and live on.
Yes.
You like junk food, Richie?
I like it, but I don't eat it.
Joan, what's your feeling on every day? They say everything you eat is going to kill you, right?
Well, did you see that program on the Centurions?
No.
Well, they found out that these people who live to 100, 125, nobody diets.
Right.
They don't know from cancer, schmancer, or whatever. They don't bother with the sugar. They don't bother with the salt. And they're all living to be 100 and over.
There was panic in the pantry. Panic in the pantry.
That was on 20.
Yeah,
20.
it's all in the genes, right? I think that's where it is. No matter what you do,
Whose
your
genes? Haven't met her.
Whose genes? Guest genes, I mean.
Richard, you being a broadcaster, being a man who reads the Guinness Book of Records and keeps up, what goes through your mind listening to Joan, the lovely Laurie, all these years
What
later?
goes through my mind as I watched and as I listened, first of all, was the clarity of the voice,
Right.
the strength of the notes, the real beauty of the tone, and the face. And I said to Joan, I said, you know what would be nice? They're not writing shows like that anymore.
Right.
Big cliche, they're not writing shows like that anymore. She could do a whole miniature Broadway production of Oklahoma, singing those songs.
Famed talk show lady Gloria Gibson, whose program I've been on, and vice versa. What do you want to say about that rendition by...
Well, I must get her on my show, and she's consented to come, and it'll be a great honor to have you.
Well, it'd be an honor to be on it. It's my
Joan,
pleasure.
do you keep in touch with any of the original cast members?
Well, the only one that's still alive besides me is Celeste. We're the only 2 survivors, so I do see Celeste from time to time.
Didn't people think that show would close in New Haven? Didn't people think New Haven was going to be the
I
end of
didn't think it
Oklahoma?
would close. It had better not. But Alfred Drake and I were the only 2 signed before we came to New York. The others signed later. But no, it always seemed to me to be a great show. I don't know. Maybe I was just somebody who had a lot of faith.
Does the original cast album still sell?
Yes. The original cast album was done on 78s by the Kapp Brothers on Decca.
1943,
And
78.
Yes. And I still receive to this day royalties for that album.
What do you think
Now
about
that's
that?
fabulous. 50 years.
Joan told me
and-
the royalties were in the 5 figures that
Yes,
she
that's
regularly
right.
gets. I told you.
You're right. That's
And
right.
It's amazing after 50
Every
years.
6 months. Yeah.
Incredible.
It's wonderful.
I can't get.
It's like an
I can't
annuity.
get 2 digits on my books.
Yeah.
Well, what we need
Yeah.
are more Rogers and Hammersteins. Where are they today?
Right.
We don't have them today. It's unfortunate, isn't it?
So I can't believe I'm sitting alongside a lady who introduced People Will Say We're in Love.
Oh.
Alfred
Well,
Drake was he?
I can't believe I'm here with you.
Was
too.
Alfred Drake a
You're
nice?
just wonderful.
Was Alfred
Huh?
Drake? Was he a nice man, Alfred Drake?
He was wonderful. He was a great person to play opposite because he gave you so much support. He was such a wonderful actor and singer. He was actually a singer who could act, which is very rare.
Who did his part and your part in the movies?
Gordon McRae did his part,
Yeah.
and Shirley Jones did my part.
Were you upset about that? You couldn't
No.
care less. So you.
Well, no, it wasn't that I didn't care less. I was signed with David Selznick. I wasn't free to do it, you see.
That's
That was-
great.
Yeah.
It's great that she gets residuals because I read about these multi-million-dollar residuals, and I'm in a whole bunch of movies. And I get a residual check, 28 cents, 4 cents.
Well, I have to tell you one other thing.
Right.
They have done to date 60,000 productions of Oklahoma all over the world, and that includes high schools, colleges, everything. Can you imagine?
That's incredible.
In every language.
It was a historical show when it opened.
I'd like to hear it in Japanese, wouldn't you? That should be interesting.
No, I can't talk
We are going to reward Joan Roberts with a brand new book written by a very dear friend of mine, and I've been on his program so many. This man has won every award for radio and TV hosting. And when I first met Richard Pyatt, he was the boss at WNYC Radio.
Right.
How many years
exactly.
doing what there?
You're about to
Little reminiscent,
go into
Mike.
your 5th.
Right.
No, quite a long time, and I'm still. I have Meet Your Helper. health professional on 3 cable networks, as a matter of fact. And this book, Joe, uses nothing but regular food that you buy at your supermarket. And each page has all the minerals, the vitamins, and the percentages connected with the USRDA that each recipe will give you. And all of the recipes have been researched by scientists. In other words, cabbage has this kind of nutrient, carrots have a lot of beta-carotene, and in turn, all of these help to heal or prevent some of the major diseases.
Any little tidbits on the glow of Joan Roberts? How do you are?
I tell you what I do. I work out every day for an hour in a gym, and I also eat. I eat very carefully. I mean, I just don't, abuse good health.
Well, that's the key.
But yes, but I agree with you, and it's very important that we look at this little thing looking at me. Isn't that the cutest thing? She's got her.
What is he eating these days?
She said, "What do you eat?" No, but I do believe it's very important. I think we are what we eat.
Must one exercise, let's say, on a continuous 30 minutes a day, or will 3 times of 10 minutes a day
If you do it 3 times a day for at least 45 minutes, you're in good shape. If you do it like Joan, an hour a day, you are going to be in great. And look at the shape that she's in. Probably she can attribute it to exercise, eating moderately, and singing Oklahoma occasionally.
How could we not get an opinion from Mr. Physical Fitness, Jack LaLanne's longtime partner? Richie, our topic is magic meals and exercise. How about organic food? Is organic food more important than non-organic?
I have no organic food in there. I think that if you eat food that you buy that's fresh and you cook it right, you're going to get the same results.
What is organic? Name one organic and one non-organic.
Well, organic food, most of the time when the reference is to organic food, it's food that has not been sprayed with pesticides and is just grown without any natural, naturally grown. Pesticides
They use natural fertilizer. That's what they do.
So, incidentally, Joe, my show that I'm opening in at Judy's, I'm singing about food and love, for the month of
they go together,
July.
I think, don't
But you see, I was going to
food and love go together like a river.
I was going to sing until you had Joan sing. Now I don't dare. Well, we sing food, glorious food, food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard.
Oh, hot sausage.
Joan and Dick are going to be a new duet on the Gloria Gibson Hour. Listen, before we invite the people in and hear more from Stephen Kaplan, Richie, how can we not hear a summation on exercise and food? But that really is the man. He works out for me every day for an hour and a half.
You watch him.
How about summarizing for us?
Well, there's no doubt that food and exercise go together, especially the proper foods, and you have to exercise a little bit every day. But Richie, what's your opinion on vitamins? Do you have to supplement vitamins with this type of food?
No, as a matter of fact, in my book, I mentioned that you don't have to take vitamins. Vitamins, that's a questionable area, and many medical authorities and experts will say that unless you have a pathological condition, unless you are weak in many areas, vitamins can help you as supplements. But if you have if you're in good health and you eat properly, vitamins might be an insurance factor, but they're not going to do anything for you.
Your body won't hold them unless you need them.
All you bodies get out there to what club now? Judy's Supper Club to see Richard Pyatt and Magic Meals. You got to tell us when, because I want to be in the audience with Joan.
July 12th, that's Monday, and July 13th, Tuesday night.
That's already gone, I'm sure. But
it's gone, but I'll be there the rest of the month, every Monday at Judy's on 44th Street, about 2 doors from the Algonquin. And in August, maybe Algonquin, but 2 doors from the Algonquin now.
How about one line of you two together, people who say we're in love? Just one line. Don't throw bouquets at me together.
People will say we're in love.
Don't smile and gaze at me.
Your smile is so like mine.
I think that's all I know about.
Nelson Eddy and Jeanette McDonald again, right?
Oh,
Gloria
Lord.
Gibson. I want to say congratulations on the citation. This is a nice lady, and I was on her show. I got phone calls from all over. Gloria, who else? What's been happening in your life? Give us a little bit on the recent activities.
Well, that story, I told him you're my mentor, and the highest compliment they could ever pay me is I could be a female Joe Franklin.
Who's your second mentor besides
wonderful.
me? Name one more mentor. One more mentor.
Richie.
Richie? It says here Frank Sinatra.
No, he wasn't my mentor.
Oh.
I don't think he likes me because my mother wouldn't let him date me.
Really? I read that once. Yeah, I read that. Mr. Kaplan, I want to tell you something. If I could ever be grateful, what you delivered, when you got Joan Roberts. Joan, is he a gifted man over there?
He's a very talented musician, one of the best.
Show me the picture of the rest of the cast. Are these people you enjoy working with?
We can see 10,000 people in that amphitheater in Long Island.
10,000?
It's going to be like a Pavarotti in the park, only it'll be...
Who are some of the entertainers here?
You have Debbie Starker, is the stage director, and Mezzo, that's the lady with the black hair on the left. Right behind her, the very big fellow with the beard, is Eric Holt. He's the baritone. And then you have Frank Russo to the right.
You have my thumb on the left, right?
Your thumb on the... That's a very famous singer.
One cuticle, I'm out of a job. One hangnail, I'll be finished. This is a good cast.
You have Frank Russo, the tenor, and then to the right, a very talented soprano named Catherine Hiller, whom I expect to go on to a very big career.
We shall return with one more big fan of Joan Roberts following these words. Let's follow these bouncing balls on the screen. I'll be right back with Dick Pyatt and Joan Roberts, a brand new Discovery duet of mine. Stay here, please. Phil St. James, who loves dogs, says he wants to say a word. It's a baby doll. What do you want to say to...
Baby doll. I heard you're a wonderful watchdog. You watched 3 robberies in the apartment last week. Is that right?
That's cute.
Is that true?
She is a good watchdog.
I know. I heard she plays poker. The only problem is she has a good hand. She wags her tail.
Phil, you're going to be invited.
I like she does. Her ears don't go up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Her ears go up for me.
Joe, I made that sketching this morning, a baby doll.
Let me show it on the screen. There's a baby doll done by one of my favorite talk show ladies. And guess what? Phil and Mr. Pyatt and Miss Roberts may soon be guesting on the Gloria Gibson Hour, right?
That's right, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And Mr. Pyatt says he wants one touch of Stump the Panel. Don't forget Judy's on what nights now? On
Monday nights and Tuesday nights at Judy's at 44th Street between 5th and 6th, right next door to the Algonquin.
And I'm going to join the act. You're invited. All right? A tough one.
Jump in. Name the TV quiz show emceed by Gary Moore, then Steve Allen, and later Bill Cullen.
I've got a secret.
I've got a secret is correct.
How about pantomime quiz? How about these final toodaloos? And I'll be catching you at what theater now? The name of the event?
We're going to the, what is the,
Stevens
the park?
Theater.
Park, I believe, in Brookhaven. We're going to do the concert on July 23rd.
I'll be there every single night.
No, it's only one night.
Return soon. Stay well.
Pick a better time to start in life. It ain't too early and it ain't too late. Starting as a farmer with a brand new wife. Soon be living in a brand new state. Brand new state. Gonna teach a great